Hello and welcome to Conspiracize Me. This channel is all about diving into various conspiracy theories, figuring out if it actually has legs to stand on or if it is just a bunch of hearsay. I think I'm gonna have to search up conspiracy theory. A theory asserting that a secret of great importance is being kept from the public. Conspiracize is a made-up word, of course, but you can understand what it means. I am not a conspiracy theorist. I just don't know. I don't fall on either side of the fence. I think stories are interesting on both sides, but when it comes down to it, Conspiracize Me is all about turning skeptics of conspiracies into believers of those conspiracies. And so today's conspiracy that I am asking to conspiracize me is going to be the flat earth theory. For the purposes of research, I am going to be using ChatGPT. Help me understand what the flat earth theory is. What do people believe about the flat earth theory? Why is it that there are people who are so convinced that it is true that they will not accept anything other than this being the outcome? The earth is indeed flat for many people. I have been very surprised, in fact, to find in our day and age anyone who can seriously say that the earth is flat. I thought that in my science textbooks growing up, public school, mind you, that I saw for sure images from NASA that the earth is a globe. Without further ado, let me go ahead and ask my good friend ChatGPT to tell me all about this conspiracy theory and see if it can conspiracize me. The flat earth theory is the belief that the earth is flat rather than spherical, and that this fact is being hidden or distorted by governments, which is exactly what we said a conspiracy is, scientists, and space agencies. What flat earth believers typically claim: Earth is a flat disk, often with the North Pole at the center and Antarctica as an ice wall around the edge. Gravity isn't real or works very differently. Objects fall because the Earth is accelerating upward. NASA and other space agencies fake space imagery. I guess you can do a lot when you have a lot of money, huh? Satellites, GPS, and space travel are either fake or explained through alternative means, like high-altitude balloons. Photos of Earth from space are CGI. Why the theory even exists: distrust of institutions, misinterpretation of observations, such as the horizon appearing flat at ground level, airplane routes looking strange on a globe but simpler on a flat map, community reinforcement online. There it is. That's the big one. Community reinforcement online. I just want to say this. Community reinforcement is tough enough, right? You want to, it's peer pressure. You want to fit in. If you're amongst a community that believes a certain thing, well, chances are you're going to believe it too, unless you want to be a sore thumb, stand out, and be ostracized. But here's the other keyword: online. I feel like you can find a community anywhere, anyhow, for anything online. Believe whatever you want to believe and find people who believe that. Community reinforcement online. People feel they've woken up to hidden truth. And that's what conspiracies are all about. I mean, truth be told, I wonder if you're a conspiracy theorist believing in the flat earth conspiracy, then I wonder what other conspiracies you believe in. I just feel like everything is intertwined. I feel like it's not the only conspiracy that you really go gung-ho about. Why it's rejected by science. Flat earth collapses under basic, repeatable evidence. Ships disappear, hole first, over the horizon. Seems pretty basic. Different constellations are visible from different hemispheres. Time zones and seasons only make sense on a rotating sphere. Gravity, satellite orbits, GPS, aviation, and telecommunications all rely on a spherical Earth model and work precisely. Many experiments can be done with a camera, ruler, and patience. Flat Earth isn't really about geography. It's about epistemology. Who do you trust, and how do you decide what's true? Wow, so okay, if the government didn't do other things that were untrustworthy, well then we believe that the earth is spherical. But because you've lied about so many other things, we're gonna take our trust from you. And we think that the earth is flat. Do I trust Big Brother? Or do I trust my online community. I mean, I wonder how many hours it would take to even become a flat earth supporter, you know? Like, how many hours did you need to spend to undo and rework your thinking? Anyway, this is about conspiracizing me, right? So I need to give the opportunity, the chance, to try and persuade me. Here's what flat earth believers themselves often point to as irrefutable proof. Number 1, no visible curvature. Claim: from high altitude balloons, planes, drones, or long distance photography, the horizon looks flat, not curved, because you can believe your eyes for everything. Why they see it as decisive. If Earth were a sphere, around 25,000 miles around, they expect visible curvature at relatively low altitudes. When they don't see it, they conclude the globe model is false. Number 2, long distance observations that should be impossible. Claim people can photograph cities, mountains, or skylines from distances that should be hidden by Earth's curvature. Examples often cited: Chicago skyline seen from across Lake Michigan, mountains visible hundreds of miles away. Why they see it as decisive. They argue this directly contradicts geometric predictions of a curved Earth. Number 3, water always finds its level. Claim oceans, lakes, and canals show no measurable curvature and remain level over long distances. Why they see it as decisive. They argue water cannot curve around a sphere and must lie flat unless contained. I always thought that gravity was strong enough to hold water down. I could be wrong. I'm not a scientist, nor a conspiracy theorist. Number 4, aircraft navigation and flight paths. Claim pilots never account for Earth's curvature or downward correction when flying. Why they see it as decisive. If Earth were curved, they expect constant nose-down adjustment or special calculations, which pilots deny doing. Number 5, gyroscopes and inertial navigation. That's a difficult few words to say. Claim high-precision gyroscopes detect no Earth rotation. Why they see it as decisive. If Earth rotated at around 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, they expect measurable drift that supposedly doesn't appear. And you know what? I'm not going to claim to understand all of this. I'm just reading. Number 6, star behavior and astronomy. Claim Polaris, the North Star, never moves. Northern Hemisphere star rotation allegedly contradicts globe geometry. Constellations appear too consistent over time. Why they see it as decisive? They believe star motion fits better with a stationary Earth and rotating sky. Number 7, Antarctica as a wall, not a continent. I think this is one of the craziest conclusions. To think that Antarctica, like a wall of literal ice, is long enough to surround every country. We're surrounded by a wall of ice? Claim Antarctica is guarded and restricted because it's the ice boundary of the world. Why would it need to be guarded? Because we might find out that we fall off the face of the Earth? Who even wants to go to Antarctica? They interpret travel restrictions as evidence of concealment rather than safety or environmental protection. Listen, I restrict myself. I'm not going to Antarctica. Number 8, NASA fakery and inconsistencies. Everyone is inconsistent at some point. Claim photos show repeating cloud patterns. Astronaut footage includes glitches, wires, or green screens. NASA admits to using composites and CGI. Why they see it as decisive. They argue any fakery invalidates all space-based evidence. Okay, so you do one thing, you put a green screen one time on anything. And you know what? How do we know that you don't do that for everything? Number 9, too many people would have to lie, but they already do. Claim governments, corporations, and institutions routinely deceive the public. Why they see it as decisive? They reject the argument that a globe conspiracy is too big to maintain, and believing power structures already coordinate lies successfully. So because they can't see the Earth curving, that's proof. Because I can trust everything that I read on the internet, and I can trust my eyes. I'm not inconsistent. The government is inconsistent. And because the government is inconsistent, the Earth is not a sphere. I can't get behind this. I'm not being conspiracized. I want to get uncomfortable for myself. What evidence or arguments typically are strong enough to convert non-believers to the theory? What actually converts people to flat Earth is rarely a single fact. I just want to say, if you're married to someone, if you're friends with someone, if you're whatever, close to anybody, and you've seen this over time happen, they just come out and admit, yeah, you know what, I kind of believe this. Like, what is that shift like? What is that journey like? What is it like when you see them struggling? asking questions, thinking about it, and then all of a sudden they tell you, hey, I'm in. Like, I believe this. What do you do? What else in life changes for someone who believes in the flat earth theory? What else happens? What changes? I think that's the next question. It's a sequence of persuasive moves that feel reasonable at each step. And that's how things work that are so outlandish. You don't just go jump into the deep end. I mean, you have to wade through the water and then slowly but surely find yourself in the deep end. And you're like, well, this ain't so bad. Here are the arguments and experiences that most often tip non-believers into at least serious doubt. So you need to get to a point where you doubt what you used to believe. And once you doubt it, and once you're in the middle, I mean, the chances of you believing is greater than you going back to non-believing. 1, you've never personally verified the globe. It reframes belief in the globe as faith, not knowledge. You have to have faith in the globe. Chalk it up to faith. Do you really have enough faith to believe that the earth is spherical? People are asked, have you ever seen curvature yourself? Have you ever been to space? Are you trusting authority secondhand? Honestly, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. This sounds like a cult. If you're a conspiracy theorist watching this, I know you're probably going to be upset about that. The fact that I said that. Maybe you've thought about it at one point or another in your life and you said, you know what, this is a cult. I can't believe it. You know what, I believe it. It's not a cult. I'm not. But I don't know. It just kind of sounds like it. The way that, these questions are being asked. Have you ever seen the curvature yourself? You're trying to instill doubt. That question alone destabilizes confidence. Once someone admits, I haven't actually seen it, the ground shifts. This is often the first crack. Once there's a crack, there's a chance. Number 2, long distance photography that shouldn't work. Seeing a skyline or mountain too far away feels like my eyes are telling me something different than the textbook. This is where curiosity turns into suspicion. You might be onto something. Water doesn't curve. Why it sticks? It appeals to everyday intuition. When people understand level, flat, horizontal, they don't intuitively grasp geodesics, gravity wells, large-scale curvature. So the argument feels simple and grounded, and the simpler it is, typically, the more believable it is. If water always finds its level, why are oceans curved? Number 4, pilot, engineer, or military testimony. Authority is rejected, except when it appears to defect. Flat Earth content heavily features pilots saying we don't account for curvature, engineers questioning NASA, military or aerospace workers raising concerns. It creates the sense of insider leakage, which is kryptonite to institutional trust. Okay, so you have even insiders like pilots, engineers, and those in the military saying, we don't know. These things just work, we don't know how. Number 5, NASA inconsistency montages. People don't need NASA to be lying about everything, just lying about anything. Once someone sees CGI emissions, photo composites, contradictory astronaut statements, the logic becomes, if they fake some of it, why trust any of it? Can you really believe someone who lied to you one time? Can't they just do it all the time? Trust collapses faster than evidence builds. Number 6, you're mocked instead of debated. Ridicule feels like fear. When people notice that flat Earth is mocked, dismissed, rarely calmly debated, they interpret that as, if it were truly ridiculous, why not just disprove it cleanly? Social pressure becomes proof of suppression. Those who are skeptical and who are starting to doubt the spherical view are now pushed into thinking, wait a second, I might be on the right side, because the wrong side is getting so much flack, and if it's getting so much flack, there must be some truth to it. Number 7, community and identity reinforcement. Flat Earth offers belonging, purpose, a heroic narrative. I see what others can't. I'm just an upper echelon human being. Like, my mind works different. My faith works different. I'm just different. The majority of people that I know, they don't believe this stuff. From the moment I was born, from the moment I could think for myself, I just knew I was different. People don't convert to ideas, they convert to identities. This is telling me something that I really do feel is true to my core. Because I believe that the government is lying to me, I need to hold on to something that is true. Once someone feels awake, reversing course feels like betraying the self. And so once you're there, flat earthers, That's who you've become. That's why I say it sounds like a cult. Flat Earth wins not because it explains more, but because it makes people feel less manipulated. Okay, I don't trust the government, so I'm gonna go way over here. And I think my last question for ChatGPT is, for someone who converts, what's the typical character or personality change? There is a pattern, and it's surprisingly consistent. 1. From curiosity to certainty. I wonder if the Earth is flat. They say it is. I hear a lot of crazy thoughts about this. Like, what is that? Open to just exploring ideas. After, rapid confidence. It's obvious. You can't unsee it. The shift isn't toward humility, it's toward closure. The question feels settled. Number 2, early on, skepticism is healthy. After conversion, it often hardens into reflexive distrust of mainstream explanations. So you just distrust everything. If it's in the mainstream, if it's on the news, if it's on TV, you can't trust it at all. I'm sorry. I mean, it could be CGI. It could be an alien. It could be a robot. It could be a double. It could be a clone. It could be anything. It could be anything. That's why I'm saying, like, I wonder what else this is tied to. Like, if this changes your mind, if it changes your character and potentially your personality, what else is it tied to? What other changes? What other conspiracies? Who else do you distrust? Okay, you're starting to distrust the government. What else? Are you going to start distrusting people in your circle, your newfound online community? Automatic suspicion of consensus. If everyone believes it, it must be false. What? A need to oppose the official story. Disagreement becomes a signal of truth. Number 3, heightened sense of insight or awakening. People often report feeling more perceptive than before, less naive, awake while others are asleep. Language shifts to, once you see it, most people aren't ready. They don't want the truth. This creates a quiet superiority, even in otherwise humble people. You used to be humble, and now you're saying things like, most people aren't ready for this, man. Most people aren't like us. Their eyes are still closed. Their mind is still closed. Number 4, identity consolidation. Flat Earth stops being a belief and becomes a self-concept. You'll notice frequent use of we versus they. Sharing content less to discuss, more to signal. Who else believes this? Who else is skeptical? Anybody? I can imagine a flat earther sitting, in a group, bringing up and discussing how they believe in flat earth, and just not even really so much concerned about winning the argument, but more so looking around to see if there's anyone that they sense has a bit of skepticism, so that boom, I got you. Okay, I'm gonna be speaking so the group can hear me, but I'm talking to you. I'm talking to the one who looked skeptical, because it is a cult. Change your personality and come be with us. Defining oneself as a truth seeker, not just someone with an opinion. At this stage, changing their mind would feel like losing who they are, not just being wrong. I mean, you've got to be willing to stick to your guns. Once you go, you can't come back, because then it's just like, oh shoot, I embarrassed myself. I really believe that. I can't go. You can't go back. So it seems. Number 5, emotional changes. Common emotional shifts include increased distrust, irritation or impatience with dissent, occasional paranoia. Why is this so censored? A sense of being embattled. Ironically, many convert to feel freer but end up feeling more guarded. Can't trust anything. Number 6, argument style changes. Conversation becomes less exploratory, more one-directional, focused on breaking the other person's belief. They often demand impossible standards of proof from critics. Treat explanations as excuses. Yeah, you're telling me that the Earth is actually spherical, but that's just an excuse to not see the world as it truly is. You don't want the truth. You don't want to believe the truth because you're not ready for the truth. You're a puppet in the scheme of the government. They're controlling you. I'm awake. You need to be awake. And who's listening? Who's skeptical? Debate stops being mutual discovery and becomes conversion pressure. I'm gonna get you. I already know I'm right, because I can't trust the government, and I can't trust you because you believe what the majority believes, and if the majority believes it, it must be false. Doesn't seem so free to me. And number 7, social reorientation. You need a new group of friends, man. Over time, many experience distance from friends who won't listen. I wonder why they won't listen. Because they know every time you come around and talk, you just want to convert them. Stronger bonds with online communities. Of course, you go further and further online. I mean, this is part of the problem with online and social media. You can literally be a part of a group from the confines and darkness of your own room. You can literally believe anything and be praised for it. And there are people who believe the wildest, outlandish things, who just feel right because there's other people who are just stroking the ego. I believe that's what's called an echo chamber. Most converts don't become dumber, angrier, or malicious. They become more certain, more identity bound, less corrigible. The tragedy isn't ignorance, it's epistemic. systemic rigidity. It always has been this way. And if it's not this way, I lose my identity, and I just cannot lose my identity because I already have lost it to the government one time, and now I'm awake and I can't go back to sleep. Flat Earth is more of an identity. It's less of an argument that you're trying to make, and it's more of a, I distrust the government. I can't give myself over to the government. Okay, and I think most people would agree with that. I can't let them think for me. I don't think people naturally distrust something because most people believe it. I think as kids, we trust something because most people say that it's true. But based on what I've read, there's no way I can be conspiracized to believe that the flat earth is true. You might have plenty of evidence that you've conjured up to support your claims, but it doesn't make it true evidence. It just makes it reasons that you believe what you believe. And where did you find those beliefs? Online? And now you doubt everything and everyone? I am strongly set on the fact that the earth is a sphere, and I also do think that science is doing their best to find truth, and within that pursuit, they'll get things wrong. On this episode of Conspiracize Me, I have not been conspiracized to believe that the earth is flat, and no matter what you believe, life is beautiful, whether you're on a sphere or a flat rock. Thanks for watching.